Good morning. There's a microphone. Okay, today it's a really, really good episode, and I think this is, especially if you're a parent. If you're a parent, you need to listen up to this. If you're not, you still fucking need to listen to this one because it is a really, really good one. And it's for anybody who's going through a hard time right now. This is such an important message for you. Okay, it's episode 518, and it's Tuesday morning, the 27th of July, 2021. And I don't know where I got this from, but basically it says you need to freeze your balls off to remember your jacket. You need to freeze your balls off to remember your jacket, meaning that you have to experience the issue, the problem, or the trauma in order to learn. Oh, wow. If somebody just gave you a jacket, you would never learn. You would never, ever learn. You wouldn't learn because somebody's just given you something when you need it. So you need to freeze, and this is a metaphor, by the way. You need to freeze. You need to feel that hardship. You need to feel that cold to think, fucking hell, I'm never going to forget my jacket again. And that's a metaphor for life. If somebody just give you a jacket and bailed you out, you're not really utilizing the lesson. You're not learning. You're not allowed to learn because somebody's giving you the jacket. You don't want bailing out. You don't want bailing out, my friends. It's so critically important to understand this, that you don't want people to bail you out. In the moment, it's nice. Of course, it feels warm, feels cozy. It's nice if somebody helps you out, whatever problems you're in, money problems, relationship, whatever it is. Ouch. I just hit myself on the radiator. My hands are going everywhere. So you don't want bailing out. You may think you do, but you don't. When I started to learn, when I really started to learn and educate, and I saw a profound difference in my life was when nobody was there for me, when I couldn't be helped. All the time. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. All the time in my life, I've had a safety net. I've had mummy and daddy there all the time in my life because mum and dad have done extremely well. They came from councillors. Well, mum was down Hessel Road. Anyone knows Hessel Road? Very, 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 very rough area. A lovely area, but it's a rough area. Dad came from a council estate in Hornsey. And so my mum and dad have done extremely well. And my mum and dad, bless them, every single time that me or my sisters want something, need something, needing help in business, needed bailing out with money, mum and dad was there. They was there to help me. They was literally there to give. Problem with that is, as nice as that is, I never learned. I never had to learn. I always had that safety net. I never, ever needed to learn. They was always passing me that jacket. They was always passing me a jacket, and so I would never freeze to death. But sometimes as a parent, you need to allow your kids to freeze, to experience the chills, to experience the loss, to experience that feeling. If you just hand them a jacket all the time, you are pinching, you are taking away from them that chance to learn, that experience that life is all about. And it happened to me when my mum and dad couldn't give me any more money for Lazo. I had a restaurant called Lazo, and it was failing. There's no ways around it. I can't make it sound better than it was. I can't make it sound good in any way. The only good thing happens, we never went bust. We sold it. We lost a shitload of money, but my mum and dad couldn't help me anymore because I'd used all their money. I lost 6 figures, and they was just buying a new house and stuff, and so they didn't have any extra cash. And for all the extra cash they had, I'd used it, I'd abused it, I hadn't appreciated it, I'd lost it, it had gone in Lazo. And so my mum and dad couldn't help me anymore. They couldn't give me any more money. They couldn't invest any more money in me. And bless them, it's so nice that they invested in me, they believed in me. However, that is not always the right thing to do with your kids, to invest in them. You've got to allow them to experience the heartache. When I knew that my mum and dad couldn't give me any more money, couldn't invest in me anymore, it meant that I had to be a different me. I had to be resourceful. I had to be resilient. I had to find a way myself. I remember I had a bill on my desk. I've said this story so many times now. I don't actually know the truth. It was between 40 and 60,000 pounds, this bill, and I had around about 14 days to pay it. And I thought, fuck, how do I pay it? I can't go to mum and dad. Mum and dad can't help me out. What do I do? And luckily I had an amazing, successful podcast called The Betting Guy, and I started software. And luckily for me, with a lot of blood, sweat and tears, it made 6 figures. The software made 6 figures, and I was able to pay the bill. But if my mum and dad had just give me that money, I would never, ever have utilized the audience. I'd never, ever learned all the experience that I got from that. It was life-changing. My mum and dad not being able to fund me and not being able to invest in me was the best moment of my life. It felt shit. It felt horrible. Having to admit you failed at a restaurant. It was a really bad time. However, it was the best time. They allowed me to fall flat on my face. They didn't want to, but that's all they could do because they had no more money. They couldn't give me any more money. And now I'm currently in the process of buying my dad out for over 7 figures of our business. So I've paid him back in spades now. And that one lesson where they probably feel that they let me down because they didn't have the money to invest in me, that didn't let me down. It was the best lesson that they could have ever give me. And not only that, now I'm going to make sure that I don't fall in that trap of not allowing my kids to experience failure themselves. I'm going to allow them to fail. Do I allow them to get CCJs or anything? I don't know, but I'm going to allow them to fail because I don't want to be their safety net, because a safety net is no good for learning. It's no good for long-term learning. So if you are going through something at the minute, if you are out there freezing your balls off, then that's good, because use this experience, harness the power this experience is giving you. This is a gift, my friends. It's whatever's happening to you right now, it's also happening for you. Everything is happening for you. And as soon as you start flipping that upside down and thinking, wow, the shit I'm going through right now, it's happening for me. It's helping me. In the long term, do you know what? The good days, the good things in life, they're not going to bring you forward. They're not going to make you a better man, a better woman, a better mum, a better dad. They're going to make you soft ultimately. The things that are changing you for the better are your hard times. You're learning so much. You've been resilient. You've been resourceful. It's amazing, the hard times, what they give you in the future. It's almost like farming. You're actually the backbreaking work of you're going through the bad times right now, but you're planting the seeds, and they will sprout over years and years and years and years, and they will pay you back in spades over years and years and years. So the bad times that you think are bad, they aren't really bad times. They are the best times, but they're just dressed up as bad times. They're in fancy dress. It's incredible. It really is, my friends. Honestly, I can promise you that what you're experiencing now, if you're going through any bad times, it will be so amazing looking back, because you will learn so many lessons. So my message is to allow your kids to fail. However hard that is, sometimes it's not the right thing to do. We're problem open. Hopefully I've explained the situation well enough, because of what happened to me and my family with couldn't ask for better parents, genuinely couldn't ask for better parents. If you designed a designer parent, then you would have my parents. They're absolutely unbelievable. And I'm reading a book at the minute called Unfair Advantage, and I'll do a book review probably a week after next on this. And it's an amazing book. And they are my unfair advantage. The fact that I've been given amazing parents like that. And it's an amazing book, by the way. The Unfair Advantage really, really is a great book. I haven't read it all yet, but I've only just started it today. But it's a good book. I'm going to probably finish it tomorrow because I'm that enthralled in it. So hopefully giving you my experience, telling you my experience, what I probably thought at the time was my worst ever experience, time in business, turned out to be one of the best ones, because it's made me, since that moment, even though now money situations have changed for my dad as well, I've never, ever, ever asked them for a penny ever again. Never, ever since that second. And we've had funding for Stormore since then. Bloody hell, I've had over £500,000 funding, but I've never gone to my dad. Never, ever asked him for a penny. Not once. Not once have I asked him for a penny of my family. And I know that they say, oh, wow, well done you, Dean. But it's because now I've been resourceful, because I've looked at it and thought, okay, where else? I don't want to be reliant on my mum and dad. I don't want to be. Obviously, with business, especially with storage, you need funding from somewhere, because it's the nature of a beast. And we're funding a big, as I told you yesterday, we're funding a massive £1.75 million facility, and not one penny is coming from my parents' pockets, because I don't. since I've learned so much from the Lazo days. I've learned so much. I've learned about relationships. I've learned about nature and nurture and relationships. Excuse me, I've done loads of podcasts this morning for Hacking Self-Storage and this one as well. So my voice is a little bit croaky. So for me, it's being there for your kids, but there's different ways of being there for your kids, and it's not always monetary. So for people out there listening to this and they can't actually be there for the kids in the monetary sense, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, because you are giving your kids a massive, massive lesson there. And for those people who can afford to give money for the kids, yes, I do think that we should give. Of course we should. What's the point of working if we're not giving out to our kids? But we've got to be careful how much we give, and we've got to be careful that we don't allow them to, we don't want to shine a light on every single tripwire to stop them tripping up, because the only way people learn ultimately is when they fail. The bad times are when we learn. And so, yeah, there's a fine balance in that by being a parent and giving too much, not giving enough. And yeah, I don't know. We're all walking that tightrope, all as parents. And as long as we're aware of it, then I feel as though that's all we can do. Be aware of it and make sure that, yeah, we don't give too much, but we don't, I don't know. We've got to be, as long as we're aware of it, I think that's we're on the right track. All right, my friends, sorry it's a long episode, but hopefully it's a goodie and people got something out of it. All right, my friends, thanks for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.